Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Tom Downey alongside me. I'm your host, Harris Rubenstein. Hope your workday went pretty well. Sit back, relax. We got some power rankings today, don't we, Tom?
And NFL rumors. And if you don't like the power rankings, please at me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. I'm sure some of you guys won't
come
like
at
it.
us. But there's one team that I don't think anyone is going to complain about you having at number 32. It's the Buffalo Bills. If anyone has a problem with this, just put 47-3 on a loop and play it in your ears. Terrible.
It was ugly in so many different ways. Nathan Peterman is terrible at football. TBT to the Bills fan who said we didn't watch the game of Nathan Peterman and just look at the stat line, and that's why we said he was bad. No, he's just bad at football. Bills making the right call starting Josh Allen. I think hopefully he doesn't die behind the scenes because I'm kind of concerned about him.
You want to put down some money with BetDSI to bet on the Bills? Huh?
You know,
plus 22,000 odds to win the AFC.
BetDSI is great. There's a reason this line is so high because there is no way that the Bills win the AFC unless Josh Allen is the second coming of Aaron Rodgers right now, which isn't happening.
That's a steal. That's a deal right there.
There's a reason it's so high. This is not happening.
Let's go to number 31 on our list. We talked about them a little bit last week. I thought they were underrated, but it seems I am wrong. It is the Arizona Cardinals who I call the Washington Redskins the most boring team in the NFL. I'm giving the Cardinals the crown because at least the Bills are somewhat interesting with Josh Allen. Until Josh Rosen is playing for the Cardinals, they're the most boring team in football.
You know, I was concerned about Arizona being too low, kind of like you were.
Yep.
I'm like, this team might be a little bit too low at 30. Then they kind of got their handed to them by the Redskins. So they're 31 right now. You saw those BetDSI Super Bowl odds really, really high. No one believes in Arizona right now. And that's also partially the nature of playing in the NFC.
When do we see Josh Rosen? Because Sam Bradford looked horrible.
By week 8.
Week 8?
By week 8.
I'm going to give you week 6. I'm going to go a little bit earlier than that. Let's go to number 30. It's Indianapolis Colts. Now, they played well in the first half, and then as expected, everything kind of fell apart because they don't have a good defense. But Andrew Luck threw the ball 50-plus times in his first game in almost 2 years.
I guess his arm's okay. They just let him air it out, which actually kind of surprised me. It was a close game for a while, a little bit closer than the score actually indicates, frankly, thanks to that late turnover. I think the Colts will rise as we go along in the year, but I don't think too much higher. And with some AFC East teams who we'll get to here in a little bit going up, the Colts kind of slid further down than I thought they were going.
I will say this also, their complete lack of a running game definitely hurt them. And I think getting Marlon back either this week or next week will certainly help them kind of control the tempo more of a game. They clearly just lost all control over time and possession in that game once the Bengals got going. Let's go to number 29. They can't win. They didn't lose. They somehow tied on a blocked field goal in overtime.
Even when the Browns don't lose, they still don't win.
That was the most Browns way you could have possibly tied that game. A huge turnover in their own zone or their own side of the field. They gain no yardage, and they kick a field goal with a second-year kicker, and it gets blocked by TJ Watt, who, by the way, did not only block that kick, he blocked the hell out of that kick. He beat his guy right off the line. Great game by him.
I feel
3
very
sacks.
bad about dropping the Browns down a spot, but there were other teams in the AFC East who we'll get to that moved up, and I didn't want to put the Lions that far down. I feel bad about it, but they still didn't win. I still don't trust Hugh Jackson. I'm sorry, they dropped a spot.
I will say this.
There is a clear drop-off, though, beyond those bottom 3 right now, at least for me.
There's a weird thing, though, that I wanted to point out. For whatever reason, I think myself and the rest of the NFL media, we kind of romanticized how good Tyrod Taylor was last season. And I think we saw in this game versus Cleveland, he was bad. He was underthrowing everybody. Now, again, it was windy, it was gross, it was raining all game. So I'm sure that had a little bit of something to do with it, but that was a very typical Tyrod Taylor game, but I don't think he's going to play like that all season. Who is the worst team in the NFL? Give me a heart for the Bills, a like for the Cardinals, a wow face for the Colts, or a laughing face for the Browns. I'm throwing up that heart. That Bills team is trash.
It's the Bills, and it's not even all that close for me.
I would love to know, what is the last team to make the playoffs and end up with the worst record in the NFL next season?
I have to go back.
I'm sure that's not something readily available. Let's go to our next team here. I told you, Tom, they're no good. Neither is Matt Patricia. The Detroit Lions coming in at number 28 after getting whooped. They got whooped by the Jets at home. They scored 10 points after the first offensive play of the game for the Jets was a pick 6. They scored 10 points for the rest of the game. They got outscored 48-10. Take it, Matt Patricia. Take your crappy defense and stick it in Detroit. Defense is bad.
All I can do is take the L on Detroit after week 1 because I went there and defended them. I defended Matt Stafford, and they made me look real bad. Detroit was a complete disaster. I'll put him at 28. I think there's even an argument that the Browns should be ahead of him.
I'm sorry. I don't care.
That was bad.
I don't care how much you rate Jeremy Bates. I know Cam Rodgers loves him. That secondary has Glover Quinn, Quandre Diggs, Darius Slay. That is a good secondary, and they got whooped by a first-year quarterback. That is Matt Patricia 100%. That's what we saw against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, by the way, which is why I was very happy to see him leave the Patriots. Let's go to number 27. I'm stunned they won, though I don't really know how much credit we can give them because it was a 8-hour football game, or at least it felt that way.
I'm going to take the L on Miami in week 1, too. I'll move them up several spots. But again, these are power rankings, not here are the division standings.
Yeah.
So we're not going to have all the 1-0 teams, then the tie, and then all the 0-1 teams. That's not how power rankings work. So who here, beyond Miami Dolphins fans, because I know you guys are mad at me right now, who here thinks Miami is going to be a top 20 team in the NFL this year? Yeah, see, I don't think you guys do. So I'm gonna put the Dolphins at 27, and we'll see how they fare against the Jets. The winner of that game takes a big leap forward in the power rankings.
I don't even think they're better than the team they beat. I just think that they played a really weird game, and all of a sudden everyone on the Titans got injured because it was rainy, and that was a garbage field. If you were watching that game,
it was a mess.
I know it kept raining and all these cancellations. Sun Life Stadium looked like crap that entire game. There really wasn't much the grounds crew could really do there, but it was terrible. If you want to bet,
Dolphins fans.
Yeah,
I'm sure this one will go over well on YouTube.
If you want to bet on some NFL games this year, use our promo code LIVE120 with BetDSI. Chatsports.com/bet, a 120% deposit bonus. Tom, you are not going to find anything better anywhere. Like, not even close. This is the best deal on the internet.
It absolutely is. If you put down $100, they'll give you $120 for free for a grand total of $220 with the bet on BetDSI. Even if you get some games wrong, which I do, you do, everyone does, you're still going to have plenty of money to play with and then make it back there. Chatsports.com/bet. That promo code is LIVE120.
Yeah, speaking of mistakes, I bet on the Cowboys to beat the Panthers.
Yeah, me too.
Not great. We'll get to both those teams in a little bit. Let's go to number 26 on our list. Probably, I'd say, the surprise of the weekend. New York Jets coming in at number 26. Sam Darnold looked fantastic after that pick six. He was 16-20 with 2 touchdowns after that pick six. Defense looked great. Jamal Adams looks like he's primed for a fantastic season. Again, they whooped the Lions. That was a whooping.
I only moved them up 3 spots. I think they're going to climb up again more next week. So, again, I was not that high on the Jets entering this year, partially the AFC Stuff. Darnold had some ups and some downs, as we saw in that pick six.
It's going to happen.
That defense was the biggest surprise for me.
Yep. For sure.
That was the number one surprise. If they play like that every game, they're going to be much closer to 500 than I thought.
I'll say this about the Sam Darnold performance. Without a question, that was everything we saw of him at USC. Just like initially, like very sporadic when he's under pressure. But when he's allowed to sit in the pocket, that dude can rip apart any defense. And I'm excited to see, well, actually, I'm not excited because as a Patriots fan, I'm dreading the day they have to give the baton over to the Jets. But from a unbiased standpoint, I'm excited to see what Darnold's going to do at the NFL level. He really looks like he's got it. Yeah. So predicted Jets record in the comments section. I'm still going to go like 6-10, 7-9, but that defense is going to be fun.
5-11, maybe 6-10.
Okay.
I'm still not quite as high on the Jets, although that was a super impressive.
Hey, they did go 7-9 last year, so maybe they'll take a little bit of a step forward or just stay the same. Let's move away from the New York Jets because I don't really want to talk about Sam Darnold anymore. Let's go to the Oakland Raiders at number 25. You know, it feels bad to say that we called it, but we called it. I mean, the team is old.
Is it too high? Like when we were going through these, and I'm like, this feels about right for Oakland, but the Jets and Dolphins won games. But if I think the 2 teams played, I would lead more towards Oakland. But I really don't trust the Raiders right now. Is 25 too high, too low?
This is where I put them. Because think about it. You have to remember, and like I said this multiple times, you know, you might not have the best roster in the NFL, like maybe the Steelers, but elite talent wins you games in the NFL. I honestly want to know your answer to this question. Do they have a single elite player on this team?
The offensive line has some elite.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you Osemele and I'll give you Rodney Hudson, and you can give me Gabe Jackson on the right day.
I might argue a little bit on Gabe Jackson.
Yeah, I'll give you Gabe Jackson.
Those are their
so the 3 interior linemen, and that's it. That's not great. That's not what you're looking for.
Certainly not Derek Carr, especially after week 1.
I want to make a prediction right here, right now, and you can carry this through. When Amari Cooper inevitably leaves the Raiders, because he's going to, that man is going to be a stud on the next team that he plays for, because they have no idea how to use him. It is astonishing what he has done the past season now and a game of just no production versus the first 2 years of his career. I don't understand it. It is flabbergasting to me. Let's do a quick recap here before we move into the top 24. Bills, Cardinals, Colts, and the Browns bringing up the caboose of the NFL power rankings. And then the Raiders, the Jets, the Dolphins, and the Lions.
Power rankings, not division standings. Sorry that they're going to be 1-0 teams behind 0-1 teams.
I'm feeling pretty good.
It'll rectify itself throughout the year.
Outside of the Jets, all these teams performed as I thought they were going to on Sunday. So I'm happy with where we're sitting right now.
I undersold Miami.
Let's go to number
oversold Lions.
I undersold the Dolphins, but God, I knew the Lions were going to be bad. Let's go to number 24 on our list. The Seahawks. They played pretty well, but they just, you know what it was? The lack of the elite defense of like that really, gripping defense is what lost in this game.
I'm actually more concerned about this team now entering week 2 because they don't have Doug Baldwin.
Yes.
I don't trust that receiving core right now, and I'm a little bit concerned about Seattle going forward. And frankly, very important matchup this week against the Chicago Bears on the road in that one. The loser of that game starts 0-2, and your playoff hopes take a pretty big hit at that point.
Yeah, especially
against an NFC team.
And not even just an NFC team, an NFC wildcard team most likely, or at least a competing team with the wildcard in the Chicago Bears. Tom, before we move on here from the Seattle Seahawks, Russell Wilson did play quite well.
He's a great quarterback. He's easily top 5.
Is he going to be an MVP candidate by the end of the year?
Talent-wise, play-wise, he should be. But I think he'll suffer from what I call Drew Brees syndrome, where he's going to put up great numbers, he's going to will his team to 6 or 7 or whatever wins, and the rest of the team is going to let him down. And if you don't make the playoffs, you don't win MVP.
Gotta love the irony of Earl Thomas coming up with the Seattle Seahawks' first interception of the season also. Let's go to number 23. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. Played pretty well. They, at least, for the second half where they actually started to score some points. A.J. Green looked pretty good. Andy Dalton looked all right after the first throw of the game. Not bad.
The Bengals fall into a similar category of the Jets and the Dolphins for me, where I actually wanted to put them up higher, but I had a tough time moving them up any further, and they ended up beating the Colts. Yeah. So that kind of kept them back a little bit. But I still think this Bengals team, talent-wise, is closer to 9 or 10 wins than 5 or 6. And there were a lot of people who had the Bengals winning 4 or 5 games, and I was like, I don't really see that.
Right.
And they are one of those teams right now that I had a tough time finding a higher spot for them in the power rankings. But I don't want to insult them because I think that they played well in week 1, and I like this team a little bit more than others.
Big game coming up tonight against the Ravens. Quick prediction.
Ravens win.
Ravens win. I'm actually going to take the Bengals. Joe Flacco, according to Cam Rogers, struggles pretty heavily against the Bengals, especially on the road.
But Bengals in prime time.
It is Bengals in prime time.
Never trust them.
Give me the Bengals in prime time. Let's go to number 22. Actually, do you know what? I take it back. The Jets weren't the surprise of the weekend. The Bucs were the surprise of the weekend. Break up the Buccos, 48-40. Huge win on the road versus the New Orleans Saints. Fitzmagic, baby.
Bucs fans about to be real mad at me, too.
My uncle was flipping out all day long, also because he bet on the Bucs to win that game on BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet.
The Saints, I was right.
Yeah, and he took the Bucs. He's like 10-point underdogs. I'll take that any day of the week.
Look, I know.
What do they do with Ryan Fitzpatrick if he keeps playing like this and Jameis comes back?
You see it on your screen. Welcome to the Ryan Fitzpatrick cycle. When he is a backup and playing in lieu of someone who's injured or hurt, or suspended, he actually plays very well.
Yes, he does.
The minute you make him a starter or pay him, he regresses to normal Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I don't believe in the Bucs long term.
And by the way,
I don't believe in them.
Dirk Cutter, I know you're trying to be cool, like, hello there, fellow kids, but you calling it Ryan Fitzmagic was just kind of weird in your post-game press conference. Just a little bit weird, seeing as he's not actually your starting quarterback. It's just a little bit strange. Tom, are the Bucs legit?
I don't think so.
No.
Now, prove me wrong. Go beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and I'll put you in the top 10.
They're an 8-8
How
football
about that,
team.
Tampa fans?
I'm giving them 8-8.
Is that fair? I don't even know if they're 8-8.
Really?
I don't know.
I said this in our
because
first power
we
rankings.
played this exact same game last year. But we played the same game last year.
I know. It is going to be bad, though.
They didn't really change anything.
They did just lose one of their starting quarterbacks in Vernon Hargreaves, first-round pick last year, who also struggled with injuries last year.
And Brent Grimes is also banged up.
Which, not great.
So is Jason Pierre-Paul. Bucks regression game coming up real fast.
That's why they had Bashaud Breeland in for a visit today, but we will get to that a little bit later. Let's jump now to the number 21, to the second most boring team in the NFL, the Washington Redskins, who, in the most boring way possible, against the most boring team in the NFL, beat the Cardinals 24-6.
I feel comfortable moving them up 3 spots this week. But it was the Cardinals. This is a very similar team to the Bengals, where you can make an argument the Redskins should be a little bit higher right now, but I wasn't that high on them coming into the year. I'm not going to immediately flip-flop on that after 1 week, and they beat a bad football team.
This team was remarkably mediocre to me. They're probably going to win this upcoming week. I believe they have a pretty nasty, the Colts this week. So
they should start 2-0.
They should start 2-0.
Put them up way higher.
But I'm just not on the Washington Redskins train. I just think that whole team is average. So, hey, shout out to Jordan Reed for being able to keep his toes healthy for a single game.
For now.
Yeah. Redskins coming in at number 21, Bucks at number 22.